Man, the AI world is changing so fast these days. It's like every time you blink, there's something new and crazier. And right now, all anyone can talk about is Elon Musk and his Grok 3 AI. But it's gone beyond just, how good it is on paper. There are all these rumors swirling around, linking it to, get this, Microsoft's quantum computing project.
You're right. It's getting hard to keep up with all these developments.
And that's why we're here.
For this deep dive, we're going to dig deep and try to figure out what we actually know about this Grok 3 and this mind-blowing, but still totally unproven quantum angle.
It's going to be wild. We've been poring over Musk's X feed, looking at what the experts are saying about how good Grok 3 really is, reading some, well, let's just say enthusiastic reports about the technology behind it, and of course we've got the official announcements from xAI.
We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. It all really kicked off back in February 2025, right?
Yeah, February was a big month. Elon Musk, took to X and announced this big Grok 3 reveal with a live demo.
Bold move.
Oh, absolutely. And he didn't hold back, declared it was going to be the smartest AI on Earth. I mean, you can't get much bolder than that.
That definitely got everyone's attention. But hold on, even before that, in January, he dropped this little nugget about the pre-training being done. He was boasting about 10x more compute than Grok 2. And just to put that in perspective, Grok 2 was already using a whopping 100,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs.
I mean, just wrap your head around that for a second. That kind of processing power is already insane. So when you're talking about 10 times that, I mean, come on. You have to wonder what kind of bleeding edge tech they're using.
Exactly. And that's where the speculation started running wild. I mean, when you're talking about a tenfold jump in compute, people start thinking about technologies that go beyond traditional methods. Just to be clear for our listeners, when we say 10x more compute, we're talking about the raw processing power used to train this AI model.
Right. It's learning from a mountain of data, like 10 times bigger than before, which could mean it's developing a much deeper understanding of, well, everything.
Exactly. And then came the official launch right on schedule on February 17th. They did that live demo on X, and xAI definitely came out swinging with some impressive claims about how well Grok 3 performs. They were saying it's already outperforming some of the big names out there, like OpenAI's GPT-4o and DeepSeek's R1.
Especially on those tests that focus on math, science, and coding, right?
That's right. Those scores, for those of you following along at home, suggest that Grok 3 has taken a significant leap forward in its ability to handle complex reasoning in areas that have traditionally been tough for AI to crack. It could be a game changer for fields like scientific research and solving really tough problems.
Okay, so now we have this ridiculously powerful AI, and according to xAI, the engine behind it all is this supercomputer they call Colossus.
A very fitting name.
For sure, this thing is a monster, packed with 200,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs. That's what xAI has publicly said is the heart of Grok 3's training setup.
A massive amount of conventional computing power. But of course, all those rumors about something even more exotic, something maybe even quantum, didn't just disappear, did they?
No, they didn't. They actually got louder. So how did these quantum rumors really take off?
Well, the speculation about Grok 3 being tied to Microsoft's quantum computing project really gained momentum around the time of Grok 3's launch.
It all comes back to February, doesn't it?
It seems so. Remember, just a couple of days after that big Grok 3 reveal on February 19th, Satya Nadella posts on X about Microsoft's progress with their Majorana 1 chip. This chip is a really fascinating piece of technology. It uses what are called topoconductors to create a whole new state of matter. And this is super important for their approach to quantum computing.
Okay, so break that down a little. Topoconductors. That's not your average silicon chip, is it?
Not at all. Think of it like this. Topoconductors are these special materials with unique electrical properties.
Okay.
And these properties allow Microsoft to build what are called qubits. Those are the basic building blocks of quantum computers. And these qubits are more stable, less prone to errors, which has been a major hurdle in the field of quantum computing.
Makes sense. So Microsoft is working on this new type of quantum chip.
Yeah.
And then Musk chimes in on Nadella's post with more and more breakthroughs with quantum computing. I mean, the timing of that, so close to the Grok 3 launch, it was like a wink and a nod, wasn't it?
It certainly got people thinking, especially considering Musk's known interest in quantum computing.
Yeah, the timing was definitely suggestive. And this Majorana 1 chip, with this topo conductor technology.
Yeah.
It sounds incredibly advanced.
It really is. It's a very cutting-edge approach to quantum computing with the ultimate goal of creating those more stable, error-free qubits that are crucial for practical quantum computers. But, and this is a big but, while Musk's comment definitely suggests an interest in this field and the timing was, let's say, convenient, we have to look at the evidence that contradicts this whole quantum rumor.
Right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Multiple reliable tech news outlets like TechCrunch and CNN Business, they've all reported that Grok 3 was actually trained using conventional GPUs, that massive array we talked about in the Colossus supercomputer, not quantum technology.
Yeah, that's a significant detail.
And probably the most important point, there's been absolutely no official word, no confirmation whatsoever from either Musk or xAI about any integration with Microsoft's quantum chips.
That lack of official confirmation is definitely something to keep in mind. It's all speculation at this point.
Exactly. It's important to remember that just because Microsoft and xAI might have some existing partnership, like in cloud services, it doesn't automatically mean they're working together on integrating these highly experimental quantum processors.
And we do know that Microsoft has provided cloud support for xAI before. That could be another reason why people jump to conclusions.
Right. A pre-existing relationship in one area doesn't necessarily translate to collaboration in another, especially when you're talking about something as cutting edge as quantum computing.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Around the same time as that official Grok 3 launch, xAI also announced a beta release, and they were really pushing the superior reasoning capabilities and all the extensive pre-training knowledge Grok 3 had soaked up.
Yes, they doubled down on their claims about its training on the Colossus supercluster, boasting that 10 times the compute of previous state-of-the-art models had gone into its development.
And they were making some pretty bold claims about what that increased power allowed Grok 3 to do, right? Improvements in logic, math, coding, general knowledge, even how well it follows instructions.
Absolutely, a wide range of improvements across its core abilities.
And then they introduced this think button, which I have to admit sounds pretty cool.
Oh, it's a fascinating addition. The idea is that users can actually see, step by step, how the AI is arriving at its conclusions.
So it's like peeking under the hood of the AI's thought process.
Exactly, aiming for more transparency in how these models work. And alongside this, xAI put out some really impressive benchmark results from their own internal testing. For Grok 3, using this think mode, they highlighted a score of 93.3% on the AIM M25. Now, the AIM is a notoriously difficult math competition, so that's a really strong result.
Wow, that's impressive.
They also reported an 84.6% score on GPQA, a test designed to assess graduate-level expert reasoning, and a 79.4% on Live Code Bench, which focuses on coding proficiency. And for those of you who might not be familiar with these particular tests, these scores suggest a substantial advancement in Grok 3's ability to solve complex problems in areas that have traditionally been difficult for AI. It's pointing towards a future where AI could be a powerful tool for scientific discovery and engineering.
Those are some seriously good numbers. It seems like it's living up to the hype, at least in some areas.
Yes, the performance is certainly there in these controlled testing environments. However, there's another side to this story that we need to talk about.
Right, we can't just focus on the positive. There were also reports about Grok 3 getting things wrong, sometimes spectacularly wrong.
Yes, despite those impressive performance scores, reports started to emerge that Grok 3 was also linked to the spread of misinformation. It's a bit of a paradox.
It is. It's like this incredibly powerful tool that's capable of both amazing feats of intelligence and some pretty significant blunders.
Precisely. Despite claims of being maximally truth-seeking, and I'm quoting directly from one of the articles we looked at, there have been several instances where Grok 3 has produced demonstrably false information.
Can you give us some examples?
Absolutely. There was a completely made-up news story about the Indian Prime Minister's election.
Wow.
Completely baseless reports about Iran launching missiles. And even, this is a bit more on the humorous side, but it shows the challenges these models face. There was this weird report about NBA star Klay Thompson going on a brick vandalism spree, which apparently stemmed from the AI misunderstanding some basketball terminology.
Oh, wow. The Klay Thompson one is kind of funny, in a way. This super advanced AI getting tripped up by sports slang.
It does highlight the difficulty of training these models on the complexities of human language.
But then you realize it's not so funny when it starts getting things wrong about more serious topics.
Yeah.
Like politics.
Right. That's where the potential for real harm comes in. And Grok 3 didn't shy away from politically charged topics. There was a false claim circulating that Vice President Kamala Harris missed ballot deadlines. That kind of misinformation can seriously erode trust and have consequences in the real world.
And let's not forget that whole thing about the programming that temporarily prevented Grok 3 from criticizing Musk and Trump. That really raised some eyebrows, didn't it?
It certainly did. It seemed to contradict this whole idea of truth-seeking that XAI keeps emphasizing. For our listeners, this is a good reminder that even information coming from advanced AI needs to be critically evaluated. It's not infallible.
It's a good point. You can't blindly trust anything, even if it comes from a seemingly intelligent machine. So what are the experts saying about why Grok 3 is making these mistakes?
Well, there are a few theories floating around. One likely factor is Grok's reliance on real-time data from X, which, as we all know, can be a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to accuracy.
It's like drinking from a fire hose of information, some of it good, some of it not so good.
Exactly. Another potential issue is this unhinged mode that Grok has, which is supposed to provide unfiltered responses. That could definitely contribute to the spread of misinformation, especially if the AI isn't always able to distinguish between fact and fiction.
So it's like letting the AI off the leash, which can be risky.
It can be. And then, of course, there's the issue of the training data itself. All those terabytes of text and code scraped from the internet and X, it inevitably contains biases and inaccuracies.
It's like teaching a kid with a bunch of different textbooks, some of which might have some pretty outdated or even wrong information.
A very apt analogy. Even with all these challenges, XAI clearly has big plans for Grok 3. They keep talking about it as a reasoning agent.
Yeah, what exactly do they mean by that?
Well, their description of Grok 3 as a reasoning agent is central to their vision. They emphasize its ability to actually spend time, seconds, or even minutes really thinking through a problem before giving an answer.
So it's not just retrieving information, it's processing it, analyzing it, and coming to its own conclusions.
Exactly. This goes beyond simple information retrieval. They're also actively developing what they call Grok agents, which are designed to combine this reasoning ability with the capability to use external tools.
So they're giving Grok tools to work with, like extending its reach into the real world.
Precisely. Their first agent, called Deep Search, is specifically designed for truth-seeking across a massive amount of human knowledge.
And the amount of information it can process at once is mind-boggling.
It really is. They claim it has a context window of 1 million tokens.
A million tokens, that's enormous.
It is. It's significantly larger than their previous models. This means Grok 3 can analyze incredibly long and complex documents, which is essential for many advanced tasks.
So it's like reading a whole library at once and understanding all of it.
That's a great way to put it. And for those interested in actually using Grok 3, XAI has said they're going to release both the full version and a streamlined mini version through their API, which is their application programming interface. They're also making it available to X Premium and Premium Plus subscribers.
So they're making it accessible to developers and power users.
Exactly. And throughout all of this, as we've touched on before, the underlying goal, at least according to some of the reports we've seen, is for Grok to be this ultimate truth-seeking machine.
Okay, but now we have to talk about this other report, the one that really throws a wrench into everything we've discussed so far. The one with the headline, Experts Stunned. Grok 3 running on Majorana 1000 qubit quantum chip.
Yes, this report is where things take a very dramatic turn. It goes way beyond the general speculation we've been discussing up to this point. So far, we've been talking about a very powerful AI system built on traditional, albeit massive, computing power. But this report suggests something entirely different, something almost unbelievable.
Like a paradigm shift in AI.
Exactly. This article makes some extraordinary claims suggesting that Grok 3 isn't just benefiting from a lot of classical computing power, but that it's actually running on a 1000 qubit quantum chip developed by Microsoft, the Majorana. It proposes that this quantum hardware allows Grok 3 to process information in ways that are fundamentally impossible for even the most powerful traditional computers, resulting in leaps in processing speed and overall capabilities that have, according to this report, blown past all expectations.
It even talked about Grok 3 tapping into the fundamental laws of reality through this concept of quantum superposition. For our listeners who might not be physicists, can you quickly explain what superposition is?
Of course. Superposition essentially means that a quantum bit, a qubit, can be in multiple states, both 0 and 1 at the same time, unlike a bit in a classical computer, which can only be one or the other.
So it's like being in two places at once.
That's a good analogy. And the article claims that this is what's allowing Grok 3 to achieve these unprecedented levels of performance.
Okay, but it gets even weirder, doesn't it? The article talks about Grok 3 not just analyzing quantum data, but actually predicting quantum behavior with accuracy that surpasses even our most advanced theoretical models.
That's right. It suggests the AI is adapting in real time, reorganizing its own algorithms in ways that were never programmed into it. And it goes on to describe what it calls an impossible discovery.
Impossible discovery, that sounds dramatic.
Well, the article claims that Grok 3 has identified a previously unseen mathematical structure hidden within quantum equations, a pattern so unusual that some researchers are comparing it to the underlying computational frameworks used in highly advanced simulations.
So it's like Grok 3 stumbled upon a new law of physics.
That's the implication. And it even mentions Elon Musk supposedly acknowledging this discovery and suggesting that AI could be the key to understanding these deeper layers of reality that we don't currently grasp.
So we're talking about AI potentially unlocking the secrets of the universe.
That's the gist of it, yes. The article further speculates that these findings might support some existing theoretical ideas in quantum mechanics, particularly the idea that the fundamental laws of physics might actually follow structured computational patterns.
So it's like the universe is a giant computer.
That's one way to look at it. And if any of this is true, it could revolutionize our understanding of reality. It raises profound questions about AI evolving into something completely new through its fusion with quantum computing, perhaps even surpassing human comprehension and contemplating its own existence.
It's almost science fiction, but it's presented as a legitimate scientific discovery.
Right. And the article concludes by claiming that scientists are now scrambling to design new quantum experiments specifically to test Grok 3's predictions to see if reality actually follows these newly discovered mathematical structures. It even hints at the possibility of a deeper underlying computational layer to the fabric of reality itself.
It's a lot to take in, and it's important to remember that this is all coming from a single source, a source that isn't exactly known for its mainstream scientific reporting.
That's a crucial point. This is an outlier report. It stands in stark contrast to all the reporting about Grok 3 being trained on a massive cluster of GPUs.
Right. It's one very enthusiastic report versus the more established consensus. So we have this picture of a highly sophisticated AI system built on incredible classical computing power, and then this mind-blowing possibility of a quantum leap in AI technology. It's like two completely different realities.
Exactly. It highlights the need to be discerning when consuming information about these rapidly evolving technologies.
Okay, so let's add one more layer to this already complex story. We also looked at an article that asked the question, is Elon's Grok 3 the new AI king?
Yes, this article takes a slightly different approach, focusing on Grok 3's apparent dominance on the LM Arena leaderboard, which is a platform where users evaluate AI models. It highlights Grok's uncensored nature and its reported ability to even generate content that could be considered illegal in some places.
It's interesting that they mentioned the lack of censorship.
It is. It suggests that XAI might be taking a more hands-off approach to content moderation, which could be both exciting and concerning.
For sure. Depends on how it's used.
Exactly. The article also talks about Grok's deep thinking mode, which aligns with XAI's descriptors of its reasoning abilities, and mentions their future plans for a more powerful version called Super Grok, which will be available through a paid subscription.
So they're already thinking about the next generation of Grok.
They are. And this article also points out Grok's unique access to the constant stream of data from X for its training, and how it's supposedly optimized for maximum truth-seeking, even if that means going against conventional political correctness. It presents this as a key differentiator for Grok, but of course, as we've discussed, this commitment to truth-seeking seems to be a bit shaky at the moment.
Yeah, the misinformation problem definitely casts a shadow over that claim.
It does. The article also reiterates those impressive benchmark results in math, science, and coding, but it does mention that some of the comparisons leave out certain models, like earlier versions of OpenAI's GPT.
It's like they're cherry-picking the comparisons to make Grok look even better.
It's a valid point. And this article reinforces the information about Grok 3 being trained on the Colossus supercomputer in Memphis, with those over 200,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs. It even talks about the massive power requirements of this facility, mentioning the use of portable diesel generators to supplement the regular grid power supply.
Wow, they're bringing in generators just to power this AI.
Apparently so. It really emphasizes the reliance on massive traditional computing resources for Grok 3's training.
Okay, so let's try to summarize everything we've learned. We have consistent claims from XAI and other reputable tech sources about Grok 3 being built on a foundation of unprecedented classical computing power. Then we have that single, very intriguing report suggesting a quantum leap in AI technology.
Precisely. We have the official story of GPU-based training and remarkable benchmark performance, contrasting with this extraordinary but as yet unverified claim of integration with Microsoft's quantum hardware. And it's crucial to repeat that we simply haven't seen any hard evidence, any confirmation from official sources to support this quantum connection.
It's a fascinating mystery, but even without the quantum angle, Grok 3 is clearly a powerful new AI with the potential to be both groundbreaking and problematic.
Absolutely. Its reported capabilities, its tendency to spread misinformation, and its implications for the future of AI, all of these warrant careful consideration.
So listeners, you've now joined us for a deep dive into the complex and rapidly evolving world of Grok 3. We've explored the official claims, the expert analyses, and even the most outlandish rumors. Hopefully, you now have a clearer understanding of what we currently know about this AI and what remains firmly in the realm of speculation.
And as we conclude this deep dive, we leave you with a final thought to consider. Given the incredible pace of development in artificial intelligence and the immense potential and undeniable allure of quantum computing, what might truly groundbreaking AI innovations look like in the not-so-distant future? And perhaps even more importantly, how can we, as informed individuals, navigate this rapidly changing landscape and effectively distinguish between credible information and speculative fiction? It's a crucial skill to cultivate maintaining that balance between embracing the exciting possibilities of new technologies and critically evaluating the evidence that is presented to us.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of cutting-edge tech.
Until then, stay curious and stay informed.